Hello, everyone. Welcome to Farming in Africa. Here at Farming in Africa, our goal is to revolutionize the livestock farming in Africa. Let me ask you on today's episode, do you have a nutrition plan for your livestock farm? Do you even know what a nutrition plan is? Or you are all about random grazing? Stay tuned as we interact with Fred today on what it means to have a nutrition plan for your livestock farm and the importance of having one. Welcome back. If you are new here, please subscribe to our channel. We are all about churning out educational and impactful content on agriculture that spans across crop farming all the way to livestock farming as well. Anything farming, please subscribe and learn more from us. Also, if you've subscribed, please don't forget to hit the notification button so you get notified every time we have an update for you. Today, we are with Fred and we are going to talk about nutrition plan. Like I asked earlier, do you even know what it is? Do you know the importance of having a nutrition plan for your farm? Or you're all about let them graze, let them graze. Fred is here to talk to us about it. Hi, Fred.
Hi, Nadia.
Good to have you here.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Today we want to talk about nutrition plan. When we say nutrition plan to a livestock farmer, usually the reaction we get is, it sounds too unheard of to some. It sounds too bougie even to some. But even to some also, they don't have any idea what nutrition plan is. Yeah, they seem to know nutrition, but the plan, it takes them off. So today, please enlighten us on what it is first and foremost, and also what it entails and its importance. The floor is yours, Fred.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. And I think, you're right. Nutrition plan is not something we think of, especially for livestock. Even as humans, I mean, how many of us have a nutrition plans? It's something that is fancy. If you can afford a cook and stuff, then, you afford a nutritionist and who put together a plan for you. But the difference is that we humans are smart enough to say, okay, I haven't had this before, let me go and get it. Oh, okay, I think I'm lacking this, let me go and get it. Animals do as well when they are on a free range. But the problem is, do they have access to it? Don't forget, they don't have money so that when we feel like we lack vitamin C, we go and buy orange. If a goat wants an orange for vitamin C, the number of stones it will be thrown at it before it gets an orange peel is even a problem. So I think a nutrition plan in livestock farming is cautiously, right, stepping back and designing all the nutritions that your animal need in order to grow healthy. So as a livestock farmer, depending on the kind of stage my animal is, if I decide to put together a nutrition plan which consists of all the nutrients that is required by the animal, whether being done by a nutritionist on your behalf or you have a good fair idea and to say, I'm going to put this animal on this feed in order to get this component of minerals that it needs or is required for that animal to achieve a certain weight, to grow at a certain rate, or just to live a healthy life. So if a farmer decides to put that together and feed its animal, then we say you are putting that animal on a nutrition plan.
Interesting. You use the word consciously. Why must it be done consciously?
I think consciously because you have a plan or an agenda. So let's say, for example, I have a baby goat and I want that goat to get to a certain weight by 3 months, or by 6 months I want to wean that goat, and to wean that goat I want that goat to be at a 30 kg before I wean that goat. That means that because I have this agenda, I have to consciously design a nutrition plan that will help this goat to get there. That means that this goat is not just eating anything, but it's eating something that I have designed purposely to help the goat get to that goal that I have set for myself.
Interesting. So you talked about how you have to be conscious about it, and in your explanation, I got the impression that sometimes it's about weight. So apart from you consciously wanting to increase the weight of your animals, are there other reasons why you have to consciously have a nutrition plan as a livestock farmer?
Yeah. Yes. So most of us mostly do random grazing. Once the animals are out grazing randomly, they get a lot of their nutrients from the plants and the herbs and the trees and so on that they pick. There are some nutrients that no matter what, they wouldn't get there. As a farmer, you need to supply to them. And that is why most of our animals that are walking around are very deficient, right? And deficiency in minerals can cause a whole lot of things, even abortion, right? Their growth rates, the taste of their meat, so many reasons. So even if they are roaming randomly, you still need to supplement them with something. On the other hand, some of us are also doing what we call intensive farming. That means that we have confined these animals and they are used to or have access to only a certain pasture within our land or within our area. If that happens, that means that we have limited the access of this animal going to find certain minerals that they need for their growth. And therefore, as you, the farmer, as you limit them from exploring to identify these herbs and weeds out there, that means you need to play a role in providing those to them, right? So whether you're doing random grazing or even intensive, you still need to provide some level of supplements,
Okay.
right, to your goats, just like human beings. Even though we eat our banku, our fufu, depending on where you are, you still sometimes need to take some vitamin because you're not getting them from this food that you're eating, right? So those two reasons all require you to feed your animals well. But the most important reason, which applies to humans as well, there's a saying that, if you don't treat your food like a medicine, you would rather treat your medicine as food. That means that if what you're eating doesn't have the right component which will heal your body and help you with your growth, you will get sick. And that sickness will require you to take a lot of medications like it's food to you, morning, afternoon, evening, whenever, right? So the same thing applies to livestock. For us to save money on medication and avoid injecting them with a lot of medications, we need to make sure that they have all the nutrition components that they need to grow healthy and grow well. So aside achieving a weight or having a strategy, the fundamental is you want a healthy, good growing animal, and that comes from feed.
Wow, and that comes from feed. Fred, I want you to help us demystify, or if there is a word like debougify the term nutrition plan. Please help us. Is it something that can be done by the most common of all livestock farmers, or you need some expert knowledge on it, please?
You definitely do, and I'll tell you what we did. So it is not something that can be done for by anybody. You need a nutritionist to be able to put something together. Again, there is the base, which is the fundamental. What does this animal needs to be healthy? Then it depends on the stage that the animal even is at. Before they cross the animal, you need to prepare that animal. The male that is going to do the crossing during your breeding season, you need to put that animal also on a feeding plan to make sure that it's healthy enough. Don't forget, if you put a male goat in 34 females and that male goat is not strong, after crossing those 34 goats, that male is not going to be able to stand on its feet. So it needs to be healthy. So these are things you also need to put in place. So there are some nutritions that you wouldn't find and you will need to purchase, or you will need a nutritionist to do that. I will use our farm as an example. So when we started and really learning the importance of nutrition and decided to embark on this, we wanted to know what are the components of the raw materials that we use. Because, we all know that goats and livestock eat maize. They will eat wheat brown. If you give them soya beans, they will, they have the sementia grass and so on. But what is the component of that? And what is the level And is that level enough, or do they need less or more? So what we did is we gathered all these raw materials and took it to South Africa, and where it was tested. So there is a company that we work with that is focused on livestock feed. So it's a research company, and basically they will do research on our raw materials and say, hey, your maize has this percentage of fiber, but the animal needs this amount of fiber. So instead of giving this, give that, or add this plant. But if you don't have it, then they have something they call like a macro pack, which is basically based on the raw materials you have. They put together the missing or the insufficient minerals into a macro pack for you, and then you mix it with what you have. So once you put that together, then you are sure that you have a complete feed that when your goat eats is getting the minimum requirement for a healthy growth, right? So that is available. And if you want to go a step further, then you say, I have a lactating goat. What do I give to that lactating goat? Now your nutrition will be able to tell you that increase your soya beans by this percentage, increase your zinc by this percentage, increase your selenium by this percentage. And then once you do that, you give it to that goat, and you expect that it will produce enough breast milk. You are sure that the baby will have all the nutrition it needs to grow. Right, so that's how it's done. And also, I think the on the other side, not everybody will have access to an expert or can go to South Africa, and that is why we've actually started producing the feed here, right? So, for example, we have the Fair Livestock feed, which we have added all the macro pack that we have, plus any additive that we give to our animals with the raw materials in Ghana to formulate that. Right, so even if you're a farmer and your livestock is roaming around and eating grass, at the end of the day, in the evening or in the morning, if you give them that processed feed, you're just making sure that they have access to all other minerals as well. So whatever they are not getting out there in that feed, they will be able to get it and support their growth with it.
Wow. So Fred, I want to ask, is having a nutrition plan an expensive thing to embark on?
It is not. I mean, it depends on where you're getting your resources from, your raw materials from, right? So if you have planted your sementia seeds, then you know that you're covered in some angle. Then you need some corn, depending on if you're growing your own corn or you're buying it. Or in a nutshell, you just come to Achimota and you pick a feed. You can pick a 5 kg, 20 kg bag of feed, and then you know that this feed has everything your goat needs, and therefore all what you have to do is let this goat go and eat. Once it's full, you just add the nutrients it needs and it will grow perfectly for you. Or you can start to put all of it together yourself as well if you want.
Guys, if I were you, I would go for what Fred and his team have already put together. Remember, they have the expert knowledge when it comes to this nutrition plan we are talking about. And like you said, if you don't have the means to travel to South Africa, meet all of these great experts to gain from them, he has done that work and he has returned to Ghana, put all of this knowledge into making a specially formulated feed for your animals. Remember, he's a farmer himself. So whatever he gives you, he has fed his animals. And so you can be rest assured it wouldn't cause any harm to your precious livestock. So Fred is telling us that this nutrition plan, that sounds fancy and all of it, he has really, really simplified it. We have the livestock feed right here at Farming in Africa. We sell it at Farming in Africa Agro Ventures shop, which is located at Achimota, Accra, Ghana, near the Achimota DVLA. You know what? We even do deliveries as well. So you can just pick the contact and just contact us. Let's arrange a delivery for you. This year, no stress at all. Everything has been made easy and accessible. Don't think it is not within your reach. As Fred said, he has brought it to Ghana, formulated it for you. So this specially formulated livestock feed you're talking about, is it only for goats, Fred?
No, not just for goats. So it's for all ruminants, right? Oh. And Nadia, I also want to tell you something that as we are going into the dry season in West Africa, a lot of the plants have dried up. So in the rainy season, you see goats growing very well. In the dry season, you see goats really growing lean. And people will say, oh, they don't have access to food. It's not just about the quantity, but it's that certain nutrients plants that they were getting access to has now dried off. So a goat is walking around looking for potassium, but it's not getting it. A goat is going around looking for a high value protein plant, but it's not getting it. So at the end of the day, it's not getting the nutrients to be able to grow well. Even though it's feeding grass, it's not enough for it. So as you're going into the dry season, it is very important for farmers to take their nutrition very seriously, because I always say this, that it takes you so much to get an animal to a certain weight. And that animal, without proper care, could lose that weight in a few days. And it would take you such a long time to rebuild that animal again, for that animal to start giving you, the production that you need. So it is very, very important that we do take it very seriously.
So would it be right then to say, if a livestock farmer has a nutrition plan, that plan can put his animals in good shape for the entire year, no matter the season?
Yes, it's food. It's just like human beings. I don't think we have like seasons where we grow lean and seasons where we grow fat, because our food is also constant throughout the year, right? So it's the same for livestock. So for livestock, it's access to the food first and access to the minerals that they need. And that is why in the dry season, you see a lot of goats and cows and sheep growing very lean, is because they don't have access to what they need.
I must say, the first time Fred mentioned that in the dry season, because most livestock animals lose weight drastically, most livestock farmers as well tend to sell off the animals, and not even for profits, very cheaply, because they just can't keep up with their nutrition requirements. And instead of letting them die off, they would rather sell these animals cheaply. I think it's a very worrying concern, and thankfully, having a nutrition plan, like Fred said, can address all of this. It would just put your animals in a good shape for the entire season or year, regardless of whether we are in the dry season or not. So if you're a livestock farmer listening, even if you are not, or you know a livestock farmer, like Fred would always say, don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Please share this information you are getting today as well. It would be beneficial to somebody who even wants to venture into livestock farming. Once again, this is Farming in Africa, and today we interacted with Fred on having a nutrition plan for your livestock farm. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you have subscribed, please don't forget to hit the notification button, because we are going to be giving you back-to-back content. Stay tuned and see you in the next episode.